So yep, I just want to. Yep. So happy New Year for everyone who joined here. So this is the new year. So the last year we conducted, amazing sessions actually, and I want to thank you to everyone who participated in the previous sessions. We got, a very good and the negative feedbacks. Actually, it's a criticism, but yeah, definitely it is impacting on the our user group actually. So thanks to those feedbacks actually, and also thanks to the Umbraco and thanks to Faces. So these two organizations are backing this meetup. So thanks to Umbraco and Faces, and also the Umbraco community, the amazing community, and also the organizers of this, the meetup. So I want to thank you to everyone, those who are participating in the previous session and as well as in our future sessions, and also the organizer of this, of this meetup. Actually, thank you everyone. So. So Previn, I just want to share some insights about what we did in the previous year, that is 2023. So 2023 is a milestone for us because 2020 in 2023 we started the first session of this meetup group actually. So we are around seven leadership teams. Seven members are in the leadership team. Most of the members are from the Faces itself. Most of us are colleagues actually. So we are planning to expand those leadership teams. So we are happy to invite other members from other companies as well, because we are planning to expand our user group not just to the Umbraco, to the other platform as well. So in 2023, we conducted amazing sessions actually. We believe those sessions are both informative and engaging sessions actually. And we are always focusing on these 2024 for creating even more engaging and amazing sessions. And yeah, so that's all about the 2023. And in 2024, this is our first session actually. So that is Umbraco Headless series, and in this series, we are. So this is the last session of Umbraco Headless series. Before there was around 3 sessions for this series actually. So this is the last session for this series. That is Next.js, how we can integrating Next application with Umbraco, or Umbraco, how we can consume Umbraco APIs or Umbraco data via the content delivery API into a Next.js application. And we got an amazing speaker whose name is Rijosh Ravi, who is the technical lead at Faces.io. He's amazing. He is expertised in front-end technologies actually. And so yeah, so welcome Rijosh for this wonderful session. Rijosh, you can take the sessions now. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh. Thank you for the wonderful intro. Uh, yeah, so hi everyone. Yeah, as Dinesh said, today we are going to discuss about how to integrate Next.js with Umbraco Headless. You must be already know how to set up Umbraco site and all those APIs. We already did the sessions on all those parts, how to set up all those things. Now we are going to integrate that APIs with Next.js. Um, so today's section, I'm actually planning to give you an intro about Next.js and what are the advantages of using Next.js, and how to build a Next.js application from scratch and set up the structures and the routing and all those things. Then we will discuss about how to integrate uh, headless data, the data from Umbraco side to Next.js. So that's the plan. So first, let's check what is actually Next.js. Um, so Next.js is actually a framework, a full stack framework that is developed by Vercel. So the advantage of using Next.js is like it's actually using React.js and Node.js functionalities. It's not a complete React.js application. It's a full stack application, full stack framework. And as the front end, it is using all the advanced functions of features of React.js. And as a backend, it's using JavaScript. It's actually a REST-based JavaScript. It's supported by Node.js runtime. So you can use all the features you're currently using in Node.js applications in the Next application. Same way, the React side too. If you are familiar with React, all the features you are currently handling in React applications, you can use it in Next.js. So in a way, it's a combination of React.js and Node.js. Um, yeah, let's discuss a few um, key features of Next.js. I'll share my screen and show you the documentation, and you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the official documentation of Next.js. You can go through this and see uh, all the features available in Next.js. We are using the latest version, that is the 14, Next.js 14. It has so many advanced features like server-side rendering and app routing, all those things. In few of the features, we will be discussing that in the current session. And there will be, of course, deeper features and concepts. If we get a chance for another session, we'll discuss that in that one. But yeah, so if you check this, there's an option for switching the uh, documentation with the app router and page router. In the previous versions of Next.js, they were using page router, and currently in the latest version, it's using app router. I will explain the app router. We are not discussing about the page router right now, because all the latest versions, Next.js is actually using the app router. I will explain that by installing a Next.js application shortly. And before that, we can discuss about key features of Next.js. The first thing is like it uses server-side rendering in most cases. So if you're familiar with React.js, there's a uh, component type like server-side components. So they are actually in Next.js, it's actually using the whole features of server-side components. Uh, like if you tried any applications, you can see that all those uh, client libraries are actually handling all the JSX and all your functionalities you written in the React.js application is rendering from the browsers only. It's actually building a JavaScript bundle, and it's rendering out all these things in the browser itself. So the issue with that is like when we try to add more SEO things and in the performance side, all those things, it will lag some, you know, issues. So there will be some issues with the SEO and optimization and all those things. We have to add that differently in React.js application. In Next.js, they are adding all those things as the default feature of Next.js framework. So we can directly install or start an application with all the features. Uh, since we are discussing about Umbraco, we are integrating Umbraco with Next.js. It's the SEO and these optimization and the performance it's required, right? So I think the Next.js will be the best option to integrate with Umbraco. Uh, I think there are people from WordPress side too. So you can also integrate those things, Headless Umbraco with the Next.js. That's also in the same way. Uh, so that's about the SSR. And there are some optimization uh, added inbuilt in the Next.js. So um, like in images and fonts and some scripts and all those things, we don't have to bother about any of this optimization. It will automatically optimize all these things. And since Next.js runs in Node.js and Edge-based Edge runtime, you can use all the APIs you're currently using in Node.js and browsers in Next.js. So it will be easy to switch or adapt to Next.js. And there are some advanced routing concepts and we'll be discussing that throughout in this session. And there is also an inbuilt support for adding environment variables. Uh, so we'll do one thing. We'll start by installing an Next.js application, and we can start it from scratch. We can build an application from scratch. Let's go to the installation section. Let me open a terminal. Yeah. So let's start by adding this command. You can. I'm actually following the document only, so you can easily identify where you can find all those documentations. Let's install by entering this command. Let's name it. For now I'm not using TypeScript. We can skip that. We don't need to use ESLint either. I'm using Tailwind to make it simple to style. And we can use the SRC folder and app folder. And I'm not going to change any import alias here. So clicking enter. So installation will be automatically completed after adding these answers. Yeah, so it's done. Let's now get to the directory. Let me open that in VS Code. Yeah, so the installation is completed. Let's go through the folder structure here. So as you can see, there are some folders already added as boilerplate. The node module sits, that's where the packages are handling, and the public section where you can add your images and icons and all those static media things, and you can add it here. And inside SRC, we will be handling all the application-based things, like there will be components, there will be utility functions, and you can see this wave icon and CSS, and all those things will be handled inside this SRC folder. Since we are using the app router option in Next.js, there's an folder with name app. So inside this app, if whatever content you add, it will be rendered as rendered when you open this application. So I will quickly run this application by entering yarn dev. So if you check this package JSON, you can see all the scripts are here, and we are running this as a development version. And let's see. Yeah, as you can see, it's opened in it's running in port 300, 3000. Sorry. Let's try to open that in the browser. Yeah. So if you check this page here, you can see all the content in this page is rendered here, right? And if I try to change any of these, let me remove this. These things are removing this automatically updating the browser, so you can it will be easy to uh, develop things, same like React. So uh, as you can see, there are some files named page layout. Uh, let's see what are those things. If we check the routing section, You're all familiar with the index files, right? So if you add an index file inside a folder, that will be the default uh, file opening when you import or if you use that in somewhere else. So in the same way, Next.js uses page. That means if you add a folder and page file like this will be the default component that rendering out. So we don't need to enter anything like page or anything. We don't have to enter this. Instead, as a default, the page function page file will be opening. And how do you add a route inside that? That's also very simple. You can create a new folder with the route you need. Suppose you need a product page, then you can simply create a new directory called product. And again, you need to create a page function, page file here, page.js. Let's name it like product page. And if we navigate to the product, see the product page is actually opening when we are trying to navigate to the product path. So it's as simple as that. You can create as much as folder we needed inside this app folder, and that will be converted to a route. And if you want more path here, suppose if you want a car path like this, what you have to do is we create a directory called car inside this product, and again we have to create a page like this, and let's add a content here, page. As you can see, this one is rendering correctly. Yeah, so that is the normal routing functionalities, and how that's Next.js handling the routing. And let me remove these things, and let's remove the boilerplate code too. Let's add a dummy content here. Yeah, as you can see, uh, these contents are rolling correctly, and as a default page uh, app folder will be the base path of this application. So as a slash, it will open the page, and you can see there's a layout section here. So layout means if you want to wrap a section or page with some other content, suppose you have a header section and a footer section in your application, and you want to share that in throughout the application, then you can add it inside a layout function, layout page. We can name it layout, and as default, you can see there is a there will be properties like children, and you can render it like this. I will create a separate function like product and quickly demonstrate that with you. Let's say products. Let's create a new file. Yeah, as I said, if you want to add some header on this section, either we can do it on this side directly inside the page like this. So of course it will render out. But if you want to share this header throughout the application, then what we'll do is we'll create a layout file here, layout.js, me name. You can name it whatever you want. I'm naming it to uh, product layout. Since this layout is inside the products and it will be only applied to uh, the components inside this path, and there will be children's available uh, as a property inside here. We can add it here. So you can see if we it's working normally, and we can add a header here. And let me add a footer too. Yeah. See, oh, these children is actually this folder, means the product page, and the layout is actually wrapping around this product page. And if you create any route and pages inside these products, or the layout will be applied to all those paths, all those pages. And you can create it's like even if you create nested routes, it will apply to all those pages. So that's how the layout works. Now but if you want to add some environment variable inside your application, so in Next.js, they have built-in support for creating envs. Like if you're familiar with the extension .env, the same way you can create files here. I'll create a new file here like this .env .local. You can add your environment variable here, whatever you want. Like we can add an API or a token here if you are uh, if you have an authentication, like any random value. uh, this will be available throughout the application, same like how the .env functionality is handling. So let me remove this content. Since we already had a tailwind for styling these things, we can use that. And if you want to continue with if you want to use normal css inside your application, we have this global css file, and you can add as much as css files here and style it with that. And it's have a built-in support for that too. I'm going to remove this body section. We can style all our content separately. So I think I covered uh, all those features that needed to build an application. Uh, let's now start integrating with the Headless Umbraco data. Let me quickly stop the sharing. Yeah, so you're already familiar with the Swagger APIs from Umbraco side. So let's check those data quickly. So we have this content API, and we can try those API and verify all the data is coming up. We can execute it like this. You might be already familiar with this. I just want to make sure you all those things. So we have this data here, and we can use the content item if you want. And we are going to use these three APIs for building our sample application, and we can build a separate application like this one. If you check this, so we have a page built from the Umbraco side automatically. So we are going to build a sample application like this. We can keep it like this, so we can verify the contents are loading correctly, similar to this. Yeah. So first thing, I'm going to add this API. like here inside this environment variable. So it will be available throughout our application. Now, let's try to fetch some data from this API to our application. For that, for now, I'm using the Umbraco delivery, this content API with path. We can use this path. You might be uh, uh, familiar with the path section in Umbraco. That's we are going to use all the path values. We are going to use that. Let's try this out with the path of slash. That will be the default path for home page. So let's try to get the data here. As you can see, all the data is available here. So we are going to use this API first. Let me copy this API. Let me remove this product file. Let's start it from the main page. Yeah. So how to handle all these data fetching from Umbraco side? So that since all these functions are server-side functions as a default in Next.js, it is easy to handle all these fetch, data fetching features. So we can create a function here to fetch all uh, the content required for the home page. So I'm naming this as fetch content equal to creating a function here and converting this as an asynchronous function. We are using fetch for getting all the content. Let's verify if the data is coming out. Um, since we are handling all those things inside the server-side components, we can directly call this function like this. Data equal to fetch content, and we can change this function as nothing. Let's add await. Let's see if the console section is working correctly. Since, as I said, as a default in Next.js, all the pages are server-side rendering. That means if we reload this page and check the console section, you won't be seeing anything. That's because it's happening all those things are happening from the server side. And if you want to see the console, you have to go to the terminal, and same like we are consoling from a Node.js application, we can see all the data inside this terminal. As you can see, the data is available here. So we are going to use this to render the data for our application. So first, let's add some title for our application. Let me quickly move this to the layout, because this title is should be available all the pages, right? We are going to build. So let's move this to the layout. Let me change this to an async function. Let's copy this. and let's return the content. To make the name a bit more meaningful, let's change it to home node, since we are fetching the content from home node. Yeah. Um, let's try to render the site name from here. As you can see, inside this terminal, we have this site name here. So we are going to render this site name into our application like this. Let's have the home node, and it's inside these properties. So we can add properties and site name. See, it's rendering correctly. So we can use this like this, and we can get some more data like the footer. Let's add a footer here. And if you check the our reference application, see this footer is actually getting inside this. Like we have a header and we have a footer, and there's also this navigation section that we are going to render shortly. So let's add the footer first. Let's add it inside p tag. Same way we get the header um, inside the home node, properties, and footer address. Yeah, so the footer is rendering correctly. Now let's try to get the navigation sections. We need to, so there will be multiple navigations added in the Umbraco backend side. So we have to render here, same like this. So let's get that from the API. For that, I'm going to use um, the first one, this content API. If we try to, let's execute this one and see what data we are getting. So in this response, we have all the data from the Umbraco. We don't need all that. We can filter it using children, and we are going to add a path to slash. Since we are getting the data for the home node, we are going to change the path to slash. And if we check the data, we have these details available. So let's add it to our application. Let me add another function like fetch now, an async function. Since we already declared our env here, we can use this instead of entering this domain again. We can add it like this. Process env We don't need this thing, and instead we can add it like this. Let's try to console that data. Or let me change to now content. Let's check if we are getting the data correctly. And again, to view that, we need to go to the terminal and see. So all the navigation items are getting correctly. You can see we have the products and people and all those things, and the same data. And we have the root property inside each of these objects, and we have this path. So this path we are going to use for navigating to different pages. So that I will explain that. I will give a demo shortly. First, let's try to add this to our code. Let me quickly wrap it with the head tag, and let's create a navigation section. And and let's add it like this. And so we are going to add all the navigations here, like products and people, like this. And we want to navigate to the corresponding pages when we click on these navigations, right? So that's we are going to build. So instead of adding this like this, and we can get it from the now content, we can loop this. Same like we do in React application, we can get all the items. That's because the response item, all these objects are wrapped with an item property. So we can use that. We can items, and let's map it. Let's get the name property from the now dot. Yeah, like this. So as you can see, all the navigations added in the Umbraco side, it's rendering correctly here. Let's remove this hello world, then make it more sense. Yeah. I will add some styles here. So I'm not, let me copy it from. Let's make it a bit more attractive. And don't bother about the styles I'm adding. It's you can add styles with either CSS or SAS, whatever you want. I'm adding using Tailwind, so it will be easy for me to style all those things. So let's add some more styles to the navigation section. Yeah, see, it's already looking better. And let's add some style to the footer too. Yeah. So our intention is actually to we need to click these navigations and we need to it should be navigated to the corresponding pages. We'll add that shortly, and we need a home section too. So let's add that. Since uh, the API won't provide all the navigations, like since the home node, we need to use that too. And all other navigations will be available in this API. We need to add home node separately from our code like this. Let's add it like, let's copy this. Yeah. And since we are looping inside React section, we need to add a key that is necessary, since that's how React handling uh, the JSX part. So let's add a key here. We have an ID available inside that object, so we add that too. That doesn't make any change in the UI, but it's required. So let's add that. Uh, Now, if you add this hello world, you can see that data is rendering between this header and footer. So that's what we actually want. And let's start some clicking feature on this. We need to, when clicking on this navigation, we need to navigate to the paths. So let's start that. So if you check this API response, there's a root object for each item we are getting, and there's a path. So we are going to use this path for this redirection. We can use anchor tags and href with some values, but instead in Next.js they have already a component instead of anchor tab, so you can use that. It's called link. We can map it with the, and let's add a necessary property href. Same like it's actually same like anchor tag, but they added more optimization when we are using this component, this built-in component. So let's add that. Now let's add the link to that path. Uh, Now route and path. Yeah. Now if you click on this item, see we are correctly navigating the corresponding pages. I don't mind this 404 because we don't have a page with this route, right? So we'll add that shortly. And all these clicking are working correctly. And for the home too, we need to add this thing. We can statically give it as a slash. So that will also work. We can navigate to the home section too. So now let's check how we can add pages to these corresponding navigations. So one way is to, as we discussed, we can create uh, folders like products or people or whatever navigations you have. We can create separate folders here, but that is not a good idea because there will be more navigations are coming from the backend side. When those changes are applied from the Umbraco side, we have to show that here too. If you add another navigation, we have to show it here. So we can do one thing, like we can add a dynamic router uh, like this. So in Next.js, this is how they're handling the dynamic routes. So whatever name we give, it will be it should be wrapped with a square bracket. Let me give it a name like path. So the path will be, it's the same like a dynamic route in Node.js or React.js if you're familiar with that. And we need to create a page file too. Yeah. Now, if I navigate to the products, you can see this path page is rendering, and whichever navigation I click in all those things, it's rendering this path page. That means uh, after this slash, whatever value we give, it will render the path page. That's the dynamic route. Like you can give any value we need, and this will render out the path page. Now we need to add corresponding data for each pages. How we do that? We can check that with the home page. Even though we are adding this as a generic way with this dynamic page, we have to add individual content for each pages. So let's add that. We'll start from the home page. Let me remove this text and let's add a section here. So we are going to render all the data that available in the home page using that API. So let's create a function to get all the data inside home node. We can copy this. So we're going to use the same function here. Let's console these things to confirm if all the data is coming up. Yeah, so as we expected, it's all those data is coming up correctly. And let's get some data to show in the home page. Quickly check what are the data available here. So we have to render out this Umbraco Headless, these things. We are going to build this section here. We are going to try this. We need this button, and we have this blog section, and we have a separate footer section here. We already have a footer there, and there's another section here. We are going to get all the data from the same API. Let's see. Let's add an h1 tag to show the title. Now, if you check the API, inside the property section, we can see this hero header. So that's what we're going to show in this page. So we can quickly add this like home node, properties, and hero header. And we can render out the description too in the P section, and it's a hero description. Let's add some style to this one. Let me quickly comment this one. Let's see what's happening. So you can see this footer is not correctly rendering as we expected. Let's check what is actually happening. Let's try to move this top. Let's remove that quickly. Let's continue with the rest of the data. Yeah. And let's add a button here. As you can see, there's a button in this section like this. Check our products, and let's quickly add that button too. So here I'm using a link instead of a button because if you check this and if you click this button, it's actually navigating the product section. So in order to effectively handle the optimization of links, instead of using buttons, we can use uh, Next.js links. So let's add an extra. Let's add it like this for now. We'll update that soon. And yeah, now let's see the API, how we are getting the data. So if you check this API, you can see that there is a hero CTA link here. So we are going to get the details from this one, and um, the root, there's a property inside the root, and we can render that. So instead of adding this directly, I'm going to uh, assign to separate variables like hero header, and we can use here just to make it simpler. The same way, let's get all the links from the API. So let's get the caption. So let's add that to our button text. So the button is available. It won't work if you click that because we have this slash href value here. We'll change that. So instead of this slash, we can get it from the API. So to get the data, let's add the same name in the property. So node properties, and let's copy that from API code path, and let's add it here. Yeah. Now, if you click on this button, it will directly navigate to the product page like this. Yeah. Let's add some style here. Um, and for the button too. Yeah. So this section is ready, and let's add the header footer here, like the home footer. This section we are going to render this as a next section. So let's create a new section here. Let's add an h2 tag, and we can get the footer data from the API. And if you check the API, yeah, here the footer header and footer description and the caption and all those things are available. We can get it quickly from the API. Mm, And we have this footer header here. Let me check why is rendering on the top. Let's add the rest of the data and see. Let's get the description too, footer description. And the button too. Uh, it's- and I copy that from the property directly and route and path. Let's add that here. Let's add as a link as the same we did for the this section. Let's add the footer CTA caption, and as an href, we can add the footer. Yeah. Now let's add some style here. Uh, for the title too and description. Let me add style for the button. Yeah, so we have this this section, and let me quickly check. Yeah, let's do one thing. Let's continue the rest of the pages, and as you can see, if you click on this, complete this blog. Um, it should now get to the corresponding page like this, and let me console this and see what's happening. Let's remove this section and let's add some margin on the top, empty 10 like this. Now it's looking better. And here too, like, let's add some margin, like 20. Yeah. Now, let's add the footer too. So now, as you can see, all these data is rendering correctly, like all the sections like this. Let's compare with the page you already have, like the Umbraco Headless section and this demo section too. And let's try to get the blogs and render it in the home page. So in order to get this blogs, so we have all these navigations, right? And these navigations have these corresponding paths. So we are going to get the data required for each path using the path itself. That means we can use the same API. Let me change this one. Is this one. Yeah. So we already got all the data from the home node, right? Then the same way we're going to get the data required for each page from this API. I will show you if you are navigating the blog section, we are going to get using this path. So this will be like a dynamic value from the root. We'll get that from the root and we'll fetch the data like this, and it will be automatically added whenever we are navigating to different pages. So to get the content, we are going to use this, and there's another API available like this one. Um, uh, yeah, no, not this one. The first one itself, we can add a filter. Yeah, we already discussed that one. Yeah, and for the content section, we can use this third one. Yeah, mistake. We can add the path here, and like for blogs, we'll get the data required for the blog, and for the products, we'll get all the data required for the product, as you can see like this. So first we are going to get all the items inside, I mean all the entries inside each pages. For now we are going to get the blogs. So for that, let's reuse this thing, or we can create a new function here, like get the blog slash blogs. Blogs, it's blog, and let's try to get the blog. Let's quickly check what are the data we are getting. Okay, I think I used a different API. Let's quickly copy this one. Yeah. Let's try to get it from here. Yeah, we're getting all the details here, and let's copy. It's from this one, so we need to add it like this. And as the children, we're going to add blog. Let's add slash. Mm, Yeah. Now, if you check this, we are getting all these three blog posts from this API. So we can render it quickly. For the blogs, instead of adding that directly in the page, I'm going to use a separate component here. Let's create a new component called blog. I'll show you why. Let's create a folder here, components, and let's create a component called blog. And let's add it here. We're adding it between the two sections we already created. So blog. Only this. Yeah, you can see this data is correctly getting. And let's get the items. Let's copy this blogs to our home section. Let's get the blogs. Wait. And we don't need this, and we don't need widget here. We can remove that. Yeah. Now, if you check the data, you can see that all the blocks are wrapped inside this item object. So we can use it and we can pass it to the block component. This, right? Adding a property with the name items and adding the blogs dot items here. And if you check the blogs, let's try to get the property here. Items. Yeah, it's passing. And let's try to render all the data here. Let's change this to a section. And let's map the items. And let's add the key to it's item dot ID. If you check the API, you can see this ID is available inside this API. So we can use that as a key. Let's add the title of the blog, H3. Like item dot name. Yeah, so you can see all the blog titles are rendering correctly. And let's add the description too. Let's add a p tag. So the description is actually not directly available. We need to get the properties, and the excerpt value is actually we are going to render out. So let's add it. Item properties. Yeah. So we got the details, we got the title, we got the description, and let's add the time too. There's a date time section here. So let's add a create date. Since it's a blog, it's we need the time when the blog is added. I'm not going to convert into any format, but we can directly add it like this. Create date. Yeah. Now let's add some styles to this. And for the div2, now it's already looking good. And let's change the text size. Let's add some small size for this one and a bit more. Bigger size for the title, and let's add a base size for this description too. Yeah, now it's looking better, as you can see. So all the data we are getting from this from the Umbraco API, we are rendering it correctly. So we have this section. Let's add a separation to this section too. Last name. Let's add a gray shade for the background. So we'll get a separation instead of, let's start padding. And yeah, so it's already getting better, right? So we got all the sections that required for the home page. As you can see, we got the Umbraco headless section and the blogs and the footer section. And if we click this button, it will correctly navigating. And for the blog section also, it's navigating correctly. Now, how do we add all these navigation content? So we already have this dynamic route path here, and inside this, we can render out all the components that required for the corresponding pages. For that, I'm going to create a few components with the corresponding name. I'll show you how. Let's add a component for product and another one for people. Let's add and we already have blog. Let's add a contact and another one for the contact form. Then let's quickly add some boilerplate code for this one. Let's add this same way. Uh, yeah, so we already have these components for corresponding these pages. So what we're going to do is whenever we navigate to these paths, we are going to render out these corresponding components. For that, let's create a mapping object here like this. So this way is actually one way we can use another logics to handle these things. But for now, I'm handling this by mapping all those uh, paths to these components. So let me create a object like component mapping like this, and let's create it like for the product. Let's copy it from here. That's better. Right. products, we are going to product, and for the people, we are going to use the people component. So see, we are going to now add the mapping for all these paths like this. For about us, it should map between codes. And for the contact too, let's add the contact form. Yeah, like this. Let's get the um, corresponding component like this component. So what we are going to do is whenever we navigate to these corresponding pages, we are going to fetch this path from the URL and we are going to map it with the component mapping. So in order to get that, we need this path, right? So suppose if the path is contact form, then what we're going to do is we'll get this component mapping and we'll get the corresponding component like this. So in order to get this path, we're going to get it from the properties. So since these pages are directly connected with the route, it have a default for property uh, like with as a name params. Let's see that. Let's console the properties here and check what we have. So now you can see that inside this parent property, we have this path and it has a value like contact form. And if you navigate to another section, the path will be changed to people. So we'll get that value and map it accordingly. So let's get the params and the value is actually getting from the path, right? So that's because we gave the name to this folder as path. If you are changing this to some other value, then the value will be different. Like if we change this to a slug or something like this, then the value will be getting from the slug object. So I think hope you got the idea. So we are getting it from the path, and let's quickly render the component. Yeah. Now, for each component, we are going to pass the title first. Let's get it from the API. We already have an API for getting the content, right? So we can get it from here and let's get for this one. So whenever we navigate to different pages, the paths will be different. So we have to pass this path to this function and get the corresponding details from this. For that, I'm going to change this like this, and I'm giving a default value as slash. So let's get the content from here. And let's pass the path here. And we are going to append this path here. Let's check what we're getting here. So now you can see this when we navigate to different pages. Don't mind this error, we'll fix this shortly. So if we navigate to the other pages, you can see these details are getting correctly. All the properties and all the values are getting correctly. So let's use that. Uh, let's get the title first. Let's add it inside next one tag like this. Uh, let's remove this text from here. So as you can see, all the values are rendering correctly. The second value is actually getting from the component we secondly built. So don't mind that, it getting correctly. Now what we're going to do is get the entries from the backend side. So from the content, we are actually getting the title and all the properties from the backend. Now we are going to get the entries, same like we did for the blog section. So let's check the blog section. So like this, you're going to get it for different pages. Um, let's add a function here. Instead of fetch blogs, I'm going to change its name to fetch item, since we are getting all the items from this one. And again, we are going to pass the path here. And let's open this path here. Now let's try to get the details. Let's oh, let's get the data like this. Wait, and pass the path. Yeah. And if you check the data, so you can see this, we are getting all the items related to each pages. So in the blog session, we already passing these items, right? So we are going to reuse this component for this page. Let me quickly remove this, and we have this data, and let's pass to the corresponding components by adding a property items. Data dot items. Now, if you check the blogs, you can see all the blogs are getting correctly. Let me add a quick style change here. Yeah. So we have all the pages like the products, peoples, and all those things, and blog with all the blog posts available from the backend, and the home page with all the content we are getting from the API, and the navigations and all those things are available. If you want, you can add more data here, like the featured post or any other things. And you must be familiar with the Umbraco forms, right? So even if you have the details, you can use the same thing. In the same way, you can build the form and submit the data. Yeah, I think we have covered almost all the features that require to build a simple application using Umbraco Headless APIs. Yeah, that's it. I think we can go to the next session. Dinesh. You mute.
Yeah, so thank you, Josh, for this amazing session. This is, both informative and engaging. So, and yeah, we know that. Thank you for the patience actually, because we extend around 30 minutes. We planned for 1 hour, and it's about 130 hours now. Yeah, but yeah, thank you, Rajosh, for the amazing session. So, I think if anyone has any questions, please ask. So this is the right time for that. Yeah. Either you guys can unmute and ask, or write it in the chat. Both is fine for us if there is any doubt.
Danesh, I think we have some suggestion in the comment section.
Yeah.
From Martin.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, Martin. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, session. Yeah, we can definitely walk through the components for the block list and grid. Yeah, we can do that. We can plan for our upcoming sessions. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the session. So, any other sessions or doubts or anything like that? Yeah, we have a official GitHub for this user group. So we will upload the each source code files to that repository. We will share with you guys. Yeah, in this chat itself, or in the that meetup chat itself, we will share that repo link. Yeah. So I think no other doubts. I think yeah, it's more engaging and informative session. That's why no one has any doubts. Yeah. So yeah. So once again, thank you everyone who joined for this meetup actually. And yeah, thank you, Rijosh. Also, it's amazing session. So yeah. So we will planning for upcoming sessions as well. We will plan accordingly. So as I said in the beginning, we will include other colleagues or other members from other organization as well to take the sessions. We are planning accordingly like that. We will inform in the via the meetup group. Yep. So that's it. And thank you everyone who joined. And yep. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajos.